Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Fusion Zero to Hero video. Today I'm joining Cameron McKenzie. My name's Robin Beals, and we're here to really start wrapping this series up and talking about what both Cameron and I learned from going through this process as part of Fusion Zero to Hero. Firstly, from me, big thank you to everyone that's watched this series so far, and a huge thank you to Cameron for putting this series together, because what you see in front of you with these components is really the output from a product perspective from scratch. So everyone that's watched these videos from the beginning, you've learned how to model a component, how to assemble that component, how to do some simulations to test that component, all the way through doing some tool paths, be able to produce some post-processing code and machine code from Fusion to be able to push product onto a machine. So in theory, if you've gone through that process with Cameron from the start, you will be in a similar position to us now. Or you could be if you would have followed that onto the machines, which you may not have done. But this is where we are. And I guess from my perspective, if I kick us off, just the trust and the ability to be able to do something in Fusion and know it's going to come together is huge for me. It really shows, again, that message of how Fusion has grown up as an application, and is quite frankly stunning in what you can do with this app, regardless of where you are in the product design and manufacturing world. And to give you some context to that, the first couple of these that we made, we had a few issues. So we've got a few of these unfinished components, which they still look the part. They look fantastic. But we did have a few issues to begin with, which we needed to iron out. I'm going to try and get this close to the camera just to show you one of them. It might be a little bit difficult with the focus. But on this fin, we look right into the edge, trying to focus on Cameron's face. Come on, Cameron. Cameron. There you have it. Can I focus? It might be too shiny. Oh, there we go. Oh, see these ripples? Can't move my arm now. So these ripples on the edge here, right on the inside edge, you can just about see them. Yeah. If I turn, you should just about see them moving in the light there. Those horizontal lines right on the crease. Those ripples, I mean, they're not the end of the world, but we didn't like them because it didn't look beautiful, it didn't look really, really nice. So we had some issues with the rippling and also some scratches along the face here, which we wanted to try and figure out. And using the machine simulation side of Fusion, we were able to look at outputs and what Fusion was telling us would happen on the stock, whether this was clamped flat in the machine, whether it was clamped at an angle, and what angle the tool was coming in to start creating the cuts, both the initial cuts to clear out the stock or the finishing passes. And what we found was by cutting this at more of an angle with the tool coming in and around was giving us a far better result than just having the thing clamped in the machine, which you would probably expect. But to be able to mimic that inside of Fusion and really get an appreciation of why and how, and having the accuracy. Fusion said a couple of hours to machine this, and it was about a couple of hours. So to be able to have a few goes at this, see the issues, run it again, see the issues, run it again, was fantastic. And the end result as a component, which has been fully finished, so you can see here it's far lighter and smaller because it's been finished off and drilled through the middle, is a far nicer component because of it. Now, it's not the most perfect finish in the world, but as you'll have seen from the videos prior to this one, when we were running the finishing, we didn't continually flood with coolant because we wanted to get some really nice footage. So it's maybe not as perfect as it could have been. It was running a little bit hot on the tool, but again, a really nice result, which be able to produce that as a component from Fusion, as accessible as it is, with the level of complex geometry that we've got on there, Fusion says it takes a couple of hours and it takes a couple of hours is pretty astronomical. Cam, I don't know if you've got any comments about the general workability of this thing and your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think from my perspective, it is. I think you briefly touched on it earlier as well. Is the fact that this has come from various different manufacturing methods and still come together really nicely. The tolerancing on this is incredible. I mean, you can even see the pin on the inside, how flush it is with the top of the surface there. And bearing in mind the fact that we've printed and machined this in two very different processes. And at completely different times as well, and being able to see how everything comes together nice and neatly inside of this. Obviously, a few learnings along the way as well in terms of actually printing this. The base was pretty fine; it's pretty solid, but then also needing to print the top half over here. As we were printing, the fact that the gaps on the side here was a bit too large for the printing bed itself, and being able to then build a bit of structure for it. Before going in, which we were able to identify in Fusion beforehand, but kind of decided against it and ran it, and seeing that Fusion actually was able to predict that the printing itself was going to fail along the sides of this. We had a bit more tapering in there.
I mean, it's pretty crazy when you think about it, that we've got something that was, yes, machined on a really nice DMG machine, so not a huge mill, but a nice commercial, professional grade mill. Next to something that was produced by one of our members of staff here, Adrian. Thank you very much, Adrian, for spending the time and effort on printing this on a decent machine, but it's like a bamboo DIY hobbyist home-based 3D printer. And to be able to have something that from Fusion, within reason, you hit print and it works. You know, the tolerance is there, that the magnets fit, as Cameron said, the bearings fit, as Cameron said, the pin that was modeled as a separate component fit straight in. The manufactured component that came off the machine about 3 weeks after this was produced, we got it and it goes straight on and the whole thing just works. And the confidence that we can do that from an application, no matter whether you're 3D printing, whether you're machining, whether you're doing multi-axis like we had, whether you're doing simple 2.5 axis or simple sheet metal work, whatever else it might be, we've got something here that we can rely on and that we can trust. And for me, that really proves how far Fusion has come and how far it's grown up in the last 15 or so years, in that we can just make these things and throw together some geometry, although probably the wrong term to use for this particular component because a lot of thought went into it. But we can, if we wanted to, model something and get it printed, or model something and get it manufactured, with the confidence that it's just going to work and it's going to, to give us a really good result. And for me, I think that's fantastic. Now, I guess clearly there are some things that worth pointing out. This component, as lovely as it is on the simple side when it comes to impellers, and we did model it in a way that we knew would be friendlier for the toolpath strategies that we have inside of Fusion. So the fillets that we've added, we've got some full round fillets. We've made sure that we've got some specific things going on around the bottom of these blades and the top of the blades to make sure that it was going to suit the toolpaths in Fusion. Simply put, whilst I can do that in Fusion, if I was a company pushing out tens of these or even hundreds of these every day or every week, there are better tools out there on the market to do that. You've got FeatureCam, you've got PowerMill, you've got HyperMill, and all of these will be able to produce a result like that in a fraction of the time. You're talking minutes rather than hours, because you've got specific strategies to say, machine an impeller, give it 8 blades, off you go. And they're designed to do just that. But that's not the point of this series of videos. the point on the series of videos is no matter where you are and what you're doing, you can have confidence that you can start modeling, whether it's a really simple revolve, a series of more complicated extrusions, revolves, lofts, and sweeps. And you can have confidence that when you start putting it together, it's going to fit and it's going to work. And you can have confidence that no matter how simple or complicated your component, Fusion will model it and Fusion will machine it. And again, anyone that's followed these videos from scratch and from the very first video that we did, you could have gone through the process and modeled that impeller, gone through the process of setting up the toolpaths for that impeller. And then you could go and machine it if you have access to a machine. Yes, you might have used a different machine to us and have to do some things subtly differently, as any machinist out there will know. But we've gone from 0 to hero. Bit cheesy. I won't apologise. I love it. But, you know, that was the whole idea from the videos, to be able to go from nothing to something and have something that is maybe more tuned to a typical manufactured part. And hopefully that's come across, and hopefully that's something that a lot of you will see and go, oh, we can do that in Fusion. We can take something that we're currently doing within 2, 3, 4 applications. We can model in Fusion, we can simulate in Fusion, assemble in Fusion, manufacturing drawing in Fusion, and then produce the outputs from Fusion directly. Cam, I don't know if there's anything else that you want to add or any specific points that you want to leave as key takeaways from this?
I think, yeah, like you said, I mean, there are products that are designed for creating an impeller, and there are products that are designed for creating other very specific components. But I think just the versatility of design capabilities that's available within Fusion is really impressive, whether it be plastic modeling, whether it be metal fabrication, whether it be, any of those. So I think, as you said briefly around the beginning, it's come a long way since its initial inception.
Yes.
And it's great to see the product develop month by month, week by week.
Can't help but zooming in again just one more time just to finish it up. So as we say, we've got one more video left of this series, which will be with our sales director, Nathan Brownsword. And what Nathan is going to do is he's going to talk us through the next steps. So we've seen how we model these, and Cameron's done a fantastic job again on how to get to this point, and how to have this this component finished. It might be that you're following that as a hobbyist, in which case we really hope we've shown you something and got you on your first steps. You might be following this series as a new subscriber to Fusion, or you might be watching this thinking, crikey, this is an application that I should check out. And Nathan will join us in the final video to talk about those next steps. How do we subscribe to Fusion? What if I just want to model? What if I just want to go ahead and machine so I can try out these parts and make some changes? What if I want to simulate? What if I want to do some 3D printing? What if I've got some circuit board designs or some PCB designs? Fusion has so many tools, and a lot of which it's safe to say we haven't touched. We've scraped the surface of the functionality here. And Nathan will go through some options with regards to subscription pricing, training, e-learning possibilities. And hopefully, once you've watched all of those videos, you'll be in a position to really appreciate and understand the next steps from here on out. And until then, I guess from us, thank you very much for your continued support on this series of videos. We hope it's been useful, and we'll join you one last time for the next video with Nathan. Take care. See you soon.